Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we started with pig yesterday. Okay, can you guys repeat what we have discussed so far? What we have discussed yesterday in terms of pig here? Kamran, can you please repeat? Just to summarize the things.
Yeah, yesterday you discussed about the pig Latin script, and you discussed the architect of the pig, and there are then two kinds of the mod you discuss. And also you discuss about the bag tuple about an atom. This thing, and some load commands and these other stuff about.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Now, let us go ahead here. In how many ways pig scripts can be executed? Pig scripts.
In 2 ways.
Yeah, pig scripts can be executed in 3 ways basically, right? What are those 3 ways? One is with the help of the interactive mode, and second thing is with the help of
batch mode.
And third is the embedded mode, which is nothing but your UDF. That is nothing but with the help of the user-defined functions we can do. And what are the 2 execution environments you are having? One is with the help of the local mode, and second thing is with the help of the HDFS mode, right? Map reduce mode. Okay. What is the major difference between those 2 things? What are the major differences between those 2 things?
HDFS and Hadoop. In MapReduce mode, we'll be using HDFS and Hadoop.
Yeah. 1 minute, guys. Kindly hold on for a minute. I'm just starting the system once. One minute, please. I don't be taking much of it. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. So one thing what I'll be doing is, see here. Can you see the screen, guys?
No.
No?
Oh, I can see it.
Okay. Now, what I do is I go ahead with respect to this terminal here, and here this is the place where we are in right now. Okay, so PWD, where are we right now? We're in home directory of your system, which is nothing but your Edureka. That is fine. Okay, now one thing what I want to do is I would like to start pig. Okay, for the purpose of starting pig, I have two modes, right? One is in the local mode, as well as one is within the one is in the local mode I can do, and one is in the map reduce mode I can do here. So what I do is that I can specify something called as pig and then specify -x, and now I specify this one as local. What is the shell that we'll be taking into? Eventually we'll be taking into this grunt shell, right? Eventually you're going to be taken into this grunt shell. Okay, the moment once we get into this grunt shell, okay, the moment once we get into this grunt shell, what we need to have is that what are the types of commands that we can invoke from this grunt shell. This is something that we want to see. Okay, in grunt shell you can have two types of commands. One thing is that you can have the option of executing your shell commands, as well as you can also have the option of executing your file system commands also as well. Can anybody tell me what is your shell commands and what is your file system commands? Like suppose one thing what I want to do is I want to list all the files of the directory. Okay, I would like to list all the files of the directory. So do you think that when I specify something called as pw, it will work? It is specified something called as file.edureka. Now if I specify something called as ls, will it work? Is it working here? This is not working right here. Suppose if I specify something called as fs, which is nothing but your file shell, or else if I specify something called as sh and then specify ls minus shell, if I define, these are all the things that are going to come up here. So that's why what we can do here is there are two things which you need to understand here. One thing is the grunt shell of Apache Pig is mainly used for writing pig Latin scripts. Okay, but if you want to invoke any shell based commands or the file system based commands, you can have the option of using sh or fs you can use. Okay, but one thing is that using sh command, we can invoke any shell commands from the grunt shell. Okay, but one thing is that we cannot execute the commands that are a part of your shell environment. We cannot execute the commands that are a part of your shell environment. So example is listing the files can be done in any directory. That is not a problem. Listing the files can be done in any directory, but it is not a problem. But what is the problem that you're going to have is if you want to change the directories. What is the command that we use for the purpose of changing the directories? The command that we use is nothing but your cd directory, right? Okay. Suppose here I have a directory called as pictures is there, and what are the other things that I'm having here? Music or documents. These are all the directories what I'm having here. Okay. Suppose if you want to come out of grunt shell, what you can do is that you can have the option of Shashank. Can you please go on mute? I think, are you the person? I don't know. Sorry. If you want to come out of grunt shell, what you can do is that you can specify something called as Control D. Control D is the command that we can use for the purpose of coming out of this grunt shell. Control D I did, and I came out of this grunt shell. Suppose if I specify ls, these are the things that I'm having here. Okay, now what I can do is that I can specify something like cd desktop. I can specify. I'm in desktop here. How to come out of this desktop? I can specify this one as cd // I can come over here, and that is a place where I am coming out right now. Now, if I go ahead and then specify something called as pig -x local -x local, Obviously, I'll enter into the pig mode. So if I specify something like shpwd, in what mode I am here? I'm in home Edreka. Can I specify something called as CD desktop, Shashank? Can I specify something called as CD desktop here?
No, Ravi, because it doesn't support change directory command.
It doesn't support this change directories here. If you go ahead with this particular pwd also, it is coming here. Now, how come it is coming here? Generally, it should not support basically. Generally, it should not support here. Okay, suppose if I specify something called as cd dot dot, if we specify pwd, oh my god, here's the problem. sh is cd, it is not fs, it is sh cd desktop. See, is the directory being changed here, guys? The directory is not getting changed, right? The directory is not getting changed here. Shashank, you are seeing here.
Yes, Ravi. Yeah.
Guys, I want this class to be interactive, guys. Okay. So in case if we are going to be interactive, then we can make it very effective. Okay. Hope you respond. Okay. So there are two ways of working in this one. One is in the form of your sh, and second thing is with the help of your file system here. Okay. Now, if I try to use this particular fs is related to your Hadoop. Okay, and sh is nothing but your Linux file system or your Linux shell that we can use for the purpose of running with this one here. So these are the two things. And one more thing is that if you want to know the history of all the commands that has been executed, you can directly go with this history, and then you can see here the list of the historical commands that has been executed. Suppose if I go with this sh, okay, and then if I go with this history, you can see here. Okay, sh history. Why is it not coming? I don't know. You should give the list of all the commands that has been executed so far. 1 minute. No, sorry. History, I can tell you guys. History should execute. But anyway. So I'll tell you this by history here. But Kamran, you understood, right? How to enter into the pig shell and what are the various commands that we can execute, and in whatever modes we can have the option of executing this pig. Is this clear to you so far, Murli and Kamran?
Yeah, it's clear to me.
Any questions till this point of time, or I can go ahead?
So ls works, and but cd doesn't work. What's the main why doesn't it work?
Generally, what happens is that if you are not giving anything, okay, it generally treats itself in the form of your fs, which is nothing but a file system. Okay, in the file system, what it takes is 1 minute, guys. In the file system, what it does is it assumes itself it is existing within your Hadoop development environment by default. So that's the reason this fs is getting executed. But if you want to change the directories, as a part of CD itself, see, suppose if I have given something called as a CD desktop, what it is doing is that it is assuming itself, it is the default mode in which it is executing is in the fs mode. That's why it is able to do that one. Okay, but the thing here is if you want to change with the help of this sh, that means that within the shell execution environment, if you want to do something which is not sensible, then this is something which you cannot do this one, Murali. Okay. Okay. Now, yeah, tell me.
So Ravi, is the shell environment always pointing to the home directory?
Shell environment always point to the home directory only. Yeah. Shell environment always points to the home directory only at any point of time. Okay. Now, the next thing what I want to let you know is, see here. When you go to your LMS, there are a lot many number of pig assignments are there, but we'll talk about those pig assignments. But here, today what we do is that in Nedreka, when you go here, you have two things that are existing. One is you have this customers file that is there. Customers file is there. Along with you have something as a transactions file that is existing here. Okay, whatever all the transactions that has done by this particular customers are existing in this transaction file. So if you try to open this particular file, that file itself is of something called as 85 MB almost. That file is of almost 85 MB. So that's why my sincere request to you is that don't try to print this particular file. Don't try to print this particular file, it will be overlooping. That's the reason what we want to do is that now when we have this particular 85 MB, so Shashank, don't you think that it is a reasonable amount of big file through which you will be able to analyze this particular pig scripts?
Yes, Ravi. Mostly if it's unstructured data and
pig, generally when you see any pig in India, what happens is that whatever you give, it will eat, obviously, right? So the pig here, what you're having here is, it can also have the option of consuming any type of data, be it structured or semi-structured. It can have the capability of using any type of data in this particular case here. Okay, now, so these are the two files that we are going to use. So this is what is your customer file, what you are having here. What is that? What is this type of file here? Can anybody tell me what is this type of file here? Is it a delimited file or not?
Yes, sir.
Delimited
comma separated.
It is a delimited, comma separated file, which is nothing but a CSV file that we can call. It is nothing but a CSV file here. Okay. Now I would like to analyze this particular data. Okay. For the purpose of analyzing the data, the first thing what I'm expected to do is, I would like to load this particular data of this file into a relation. So how exactly this is going to be happening, I'll tell you. Practically, I'll show you here. So for the purpose of clearing this one, especially this one is clear. Done. Now that is the customer file. I'm going to create a variable. That variable is called as a relation here. That is what is called as CUST cust. What is the name of the file? The name of the file which is there in your home directory of this one is CUSTS, right? Where is that one? Where is that file? Yeah, this is what is your CUSTS file. Okay. Come here, I specify this one as CUST, which is nothing but your relation is equal to load. And what is the name of the file here? The name of the file is nothing but your CUSTS. Yeah, am I specifying any path here, Shashank? Yeah, am I specifying any path here? I'm not specifying any path, right?
No,
Can
no.
you tell me that? Can you tell me, in case if you are not specifying any path, and if you simply specify the file, what does it mean?
It searches in the home directory.
It searches within the present working directory, right? It searches only within the present working directory. Okay. So I would like to load this particular file. Okay. While loading this particular file, what also I would like to do is, 1 minute. What also I would like to do is that I need to specify the type of the file that I'm getting here. I'm going to specify something called as using. Okay. the CSV file is specified with the help of your structured files are generally specified with the help of your peak storage of, okay, what is the delimiter that I'm having here? The lead delimiter what I'm having here is nothing but your comma I'll specify here. Okay, but one thing what I want to do is that I also need to specify the structure of the file as, okay, what I do is that let me start specifying the structure of the file, that is colon brace customer ID colon. By default any data type what you are having here should be specified as a char array, okay, comma, you also have something called as first name colon, first name is also of char array, right, Divya? Char array,
Yes, Ravi.
comma, and based on this one what you're having here is that you also have this last name char array, okay, last name is char array and comma here, and you also have the last field. The last field what I do is that I specify this age. When I specify this age, okay, the age is of something like long in length, age colon long, 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 okay, and followed by I need to specify the profession. The reason why I'm specifying this particular profession is if you go to Edreka and then if you select this customers, you'll be able to see this is what is your customer ID, this is what is your first name, this is what is your last name, then followed by your age, and then this one is nothing but your job, or else I can try to specify this one as a profession. Okay, so what I do is that I'll go ahead and then specify this one as profession colon char array. Profession colon char array I'm specifying. This is the first thing that I'm specifying. Is it clear, guys? I want to load a file. So how I want to load a file? When I'm loading a particular file, you need to specify the type of the file. The type of the file is being specified with the help of this peak storage, and within that peak storage, I also need to specify the delimiter associated with that particular file. The delimiter is stated as comma, okay, and I'm specifying the location of the file where it is really existing, and then I'm also trying to specify the schema of the file also as well. I'm also trying to specify the schema of the file. So how is the schema of the file specified? The schema of the file is specified as customer ID, which is of char array, right? Customer ID which is of your char array. How do you know that this is of char array here? Please watch the spellings, guys. If any place where you're missing the spelling, then this is going to hardly hit. Char array. First name is also char array. Last name is also char array. Age is long, and then the profession is nothing but your name. That means that what you are doing here is you are trying to load this particular file by specifying the schema, okay, and then you're trying to hold that schema into a temporary variable, and what we do is that we call that particular variable as a relation. Shashank, is it clear to you? We're trying to call that particular variable as a relation.
Yes, sir.
Murli?
Yeah, Ravi.
We're trying to call this one as a relation here. Okay, when we are trying to specify in the form of the relation, what you do is that you click on the center button. Okay, it has used all these particular map. I told you, right, there is no need for you to specifically compile this particular file, right? There is no need for you to specifically compile the file. What happens is that it is going to come up with a logical execution plan. That logical execution plan is nothing but a series of steps that we use, and each and every step is going to be optimized, and then when it is submitted to the execution engine, it is going to create it in the form of a series of MapReduce jobs, which will be submitted to your HDFS for the purpose of execution. So there is a reason what is happening here is this is something that is really happening the moment once you submit this particular thing here. Okay, but let me tell you one more thing. I'll tell you one more thing here is when you're storing this one within the variable, what variable you're storing? You're storing within that variable called as CUST, right? CUST you are storing. But that CUST what you are having here is only a temporary variable. Temporary variable. Okay, so that is the reason what we really don't do is we use that particular variable till the time your peak session is active. Till the time your peak session is active. Okay, so that you can start using your variable for the purpose of using it as input in some other statements also as well. The reason is it is generally treated as a data flow language, right? Since it is generally treated as a data flow language, you can use that one. How can you know whether that file has been successfully loaded into that particular variable? I want to print that data. Okay, so when I want to print this particular data, I have told you, you can have the option of executing your pig in two modes. One is nothing but your local mode, and interactive mode, and second thing is the batch mode. So this is what is the interactive mode, where I would like to execute step by step. Okay, so for the purpose of executing this step by step, what I do is that I specify this one as dump and CUST I'll specify here, dump and custom. When you specify this one and then see if this is really going to execute or not, see, after doing all this blah blah blah, it is going to print all these particular customers here. So with this one, don't you think, Divija, that particular file has been loaded into that particular cust? Okay, and based on that particular cust, when you are trying to print these particular values, all these values are being displayed in the form of the screen like this. Divija and Shashank.
Yes, Ravi. Ravi, does this whole thing be called as a bag according to the notation yesterday? Like,
yeah, this whole thing is treated as a bag. This whole thing is treated as a bag.
And you told we use big storage for delimited or CSV kind of files. So what other options do we have?
Yeah, when we are dealing with the stream-based data, the structured things, I'll be telling you, Divija, in tomorrow's class. I'll be letting you know on that one. Okay. So this is what now you try to compare. You try to compare. Like if the same program has to be written in Java, how do you write? Divija, how do you write this one? I have a file, and then I want to load the data into the file, and then I want to print those particular values. Is it something that can be done in 2 lines or 20 lines or 40 lines?
I think I'll use at least minimum 5 to 6 lines of code, but
yeah,
definitely not a single line.
Yeah, minimum 20 to 40 lines of code we need to use. The reason is we need to use the file stream reader, we need to process the data, we need to use the while loops, and then we need to start printing them. There might be IO exceptions that will happen, file exceptions that will be there. We need to put all those things, and we need to include all those libraries also as well. So that program is going to be that much big basically, right? So load is the command that is basically used to dump, sorry, I should not use dump. It is basically used to upload the contents of the specified file into a particular variable, and that variable is a temporary variable, and we call that particular temporary variable as a relation. We call that temporary variable as a relation, and the lifetime and the longevity of that particular variable is till your session is active, till you exit. Shashank, is it clear?
Yes, Ravi.
Now I would like to start some manipulations on this particular data. Okay, if I want to start manipulations on this data, I really don't know how many number of records are existing. Okay, I really don't know how many records are existing. But what I want to do is that I would like to see the first 10-15 records. I would like to see the first 10-15 records. So in such a case, what I do is that I specify this one as count, or else CNT equal to, I'll specify this one as limit. Even in SQL Server, when you're trying to specify, select a top 10 or top 20 or something, I'll specify, right? I'll specify something as limit, which is nothing but a customer, and then I'll specify something as 20 customers only. I want to load it into another variable. The first 20 customers which are there in your cust relationship has to be loaded into another variable, and that variable is definitely treated as CNT. Definitely treated as CNT. Now, if I go ahead and then dump this particular CNT, if I go ahead and then dump this particular CNT, see what happens here. After this blah 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 thing, it is going to get all this particular 20 records. Right, Shashank? It is getting only this 20 records in this particular case. 20 records.
Yes, Ravi. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 20 records it is getting here. Now tell me, what are all the things that we are doing here? What are all the things that we are doing?
Is it giving only first 20 or?
First 20 only, first 20. See, first the file what you are having here is cust file. Cust file. This cust file has been stored in a particular variable, and this is what is called as CUST, and then I'm trying to use this particular file in a particular thing called as your CNT, and within this CNT I'm trying to group this data. So it's not this variable is being used here, and the output of this particular variable is used in another statement. So Shashank, don't you call this one as a data flow language now? It is obviously treated as a data flow language, right?
Yes, Ravi.
Okay, so please make a note of these things. We have seen limit keyword, we have seen limit command, we have seen seen something as a load command. We also have seen something as a dump command. These are the 3 commands what we have seen. Okay, now another thing is that I want to group. So let us go back here. This is cust, then followed by dump cust. We have this count, and then followed by this count here. Okay. Now what I want to do is that I would like to group these things by profession. Okay. So here what I do is that I specify something like GRP PROF group profession equal to what I do is that group. Shall I use CNT or cust? Shall I use CNT or cust?
Cust.
CNT.
Suppose if I use something called as CUST, you
get a big set, right?
NT. Okay, what I do is that I specify this one as the field. You have that particular field, right? How is that field specified? The field is specified with the help of a profession, right? So I specify this one as profession, like this. I'll specify group cust by profession if I specify, and then when I click this one, it's done. Now another thing what I do is that another thing what I can do is that GRP PROF CNT also I'll specify, okay, equal to group CNT, right? Group CNT by profession. Group CNT by profession. Okay, if I define like this, and this is also valid, done. Once it is done, what I do is that I specify this one as dump GRP PROF CNT. I'll specify like this. See what happens. Executing a series of map reduce blah blah blahs, and then it is returning these things. How many pilots you are having here? What is this one? This is the group name. Pilots are these 2 things here. So is it structured or unstructured? It is unstructured, right?
Yes, Ravi, it's unstructured.
This is unstructured, right? So suppose if I specify this one as what are all the things that I have used? Dump this one GRP PROF CNT, and then you are having GRP PROF only. Suppose if I specify dump grp PROF, see what happens here. It starts giving the list of all these things that belongs to this one, which we will not be able to even evaluate this one. That is the reason what I did is that I specified this one as dump grp PROF count. This is the way that I can have the option of grouping the data by one field or two fields. Also, I can start grouping the data. This is the thing that I am doing here. Is it clear, Murli, what we are doing here?
Yeah.
I hope, guys, you are trying to keep a track of all the variables that we are doing here. The reason is, if we start missing any of these particular variables, what happens is later you cannot proceed. The reason is, if we start missing these particular variables, that means that you're trying to miss the flow altogether. You're trying to miss the flow altogether, which is nothing but a data flow. That's why either you need to keep a track of all these particular variables when you're trying to run the job within the interactive mode. Otherwise, you try to collect or tie all these particular commands in a particular file, and we call that particular file as a pig file, and you execute that particular file, which is nothing but the batch mode of getting that particular data, right? Batch mode of getting that particular data. Clear, guys? What we are doing
Ravi,
here?
Is there any shell command to view what are the variables we used in a particular session of the shell?
See, the moment once you press your up arrow, you'll be able to know those things. Okay. Otherwise, one command that you're having here is history. When you use this particular history, you should be able to see. I am not really sure why this history is not being displayed, but history is the command that should give you all those things basically, guys. Okay. History. You try from your side and then check whether it is working or not, and then let me know by tomorrow. That would be good. Okay.
Can you just do history and then
History and
history and 10 and
it is going into the log file basically.
say, I think there is some quote at the end. You remove that quote, yeah.
It's not going at all.
Oh, okay.
When I press enter also, it is not going Murli.
Okay.
Okay. No. Suppose I want to know how many employees are there in each and every group, or else how many employees are there in each and every profession. Okay. Then in such a case, what I do is that I specify something called as count profession. Count profession. Okay. Equal to. Let me try to use one more structure. The structure is nothing but here for each. I want to loop for this one for each. What I do is that what is the profession that we have used? GRP. Did you guys have an idea what we have used here?
PROF.
GRP PROF, right? Okay. CNT PROF equal to for each GRP PROF. Okay. What I want to do is that I would like to generate. The first one is obviously treated as the group. Group is a keyword here. Then followed by I use something called as count of what is that variable? That variable is nothing but count of cost. Done. I want to dump this content. Dump CNT PROF. It executes and then is it not giving this data here, guys? Actors are 196, coaches are 199, this one is this one, like this you are having all these things here, right? Now, can we apply this one on the second set that we have got here? Divya, is it clear to you?
Yes, Ravi.
Can we apply it on the second set here? Like dumb CNT PROF. Here, what I do is that instead of this GRP PROF, this is one more thing that we have created, right? What is that one?
CNT. Append CNT to that variable.
1 minute. GRP PROF CNT, right? Okay. Add. Okay. Here, what I do is that I specify GRP PROF CNT. I'll specify. Okay. Now tell me what happens. Now tell me what happens.
Shouldn't we?
CNT prof for each.
Is the count going to be on the same variable like cast, which is the initial one, or we have to change that?
No, not required. The column need to be projected to used as a scalar. What is happening here? Invalid scalar projection casta. CNT for each group variable generate count and count of cost. This is done, right? GRP PROF CNT. A column need to be projected from this one. Suppose.
Can we use the same variable name for multiple projections?
Why not? It has to override that one, right? Basically, CNT PROFF. Okay. For each GRP PROF CNT, that is the same thing, right, Divya? Generate group, comma, count of generate group count of CST. A column needs to be projected to be used as a scalar. What does it mean? The same thing we have used here, right? Contortions. Now, what is wrong with this one? CNT PROFF.
Shouldn't we change that count CUST in that place? Do we have to mention the column name instead? I don't know.
See,
or the key, or the unique key, Ravi?
No. See, one thing is that, see here. One thing is, customer is nothing but the count of customers what we have over there. Initially, when we grouped, right, Divya? Initially, yes. when we grouped, we have got the tuple like this. What is the tuple that we have got? The tuple is something like analyst, comma, the customer name, like that you have got. You remember?
Yes.
You have got it like this. So I'm trying to count all those particular customers set over there. That is the reason we can have the option of defining like this, basically.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
But this one, why is not showing? I'm just trying to understand.
Just try dumping the group PROF CNT.
For each, okay. GRP PROF, right? PROF CNT generate group, comma, count of
try CNT.
CNT of
count of CNT.
Count of CNT. CNT is what?
Smaller set, right? So limit customer 20 is nothing but CNT.
Now my question is, see, what are the steps that we use? Let me do one.
So group PROF CNT is nothing but it's derived from CNT.
Group CNT by provision. Okay, we did that one. And GRP, PROF, CNT. Okay, got it. Yeah. Sorry, Murli. The thing is that, this one, what you are using, okay, as well as the parameter what you are specifying here should have a resemblance, basically. Should have a resemblance. When we say that this should have a resemblance, you see here, whenever we are grouping, is it not something like you are using this variable for the purpose of grouping, basically? Murli?
Yeah.
Let me, Kamran, you understood what is the problem and why we are not getting the result earlier in the case?
No, it's not clear to me.
Okay, let me tell you. 1 minute. Okay, so one thing what we did is, see here, we started like this, right? First we loaded, you are seeing here, right? Let me do one thing. Let me clear this one and then I'll tell you the statements what we're doing here. Okay, what is the first one? We start from here. Guys, please follow carefully. We loaded this customer, right, Kamran?
You define the structure and then you load it.
Yeah, loaded into customer, right?
Yeah.
So the second thing what I did is I dumped this customer and then we have seen the data, right?
Correct.
We have seen the data.
Correct.
Third thing what we did, I used that CNT in order to limit the customers to 20. So that means that in order to limit the customers to 20, so that means that CUST is a large file as well as this CNT is the same file with 20 records. That's it, right?
Yeah.
That is clear, right?
You just want to see the 20 tuple from the back.
Yeah, 20 tuple from that one. So we did that one. Next thing what I did is that I did this one here. Group professor, group customer by provision, right?
Correct.
So that means that this is something which is being formed out of this one, out of this customer, right? Basically, the group prof relation is something which has been formed out of this customer relation, right?
Yes.
Now, whenever we are using these two variables, there should always be a synchronization that should exist between those two. Otherwise, we cannot do anything out of that one. You agree with me? Like what I'm saying is, whenever you are grouping this customer by provision, okay, what happens is that this customer CUST is automatically bounded to this GRP PROF. You agree with me?
Correct.
So going forward, if in any other expression when we are trying to use, this one should always be correlated with respect to this variable only, but not with respect to any other variable. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay, next thing what we did, we used this one here. GRP PROF CNT is with respect to CNT by provision, right? Group CNT by provision. So that means that this is something which is related to this variable, which is linked to that variable. You agree with me?
Yeah, correct.
Kamran, you are following. Shashank, I hope you are also following, right? Divya?
Yes, Ravi.
Yes, Ravi, I got that.
Yeah, this is related to that variable. Okay, the moment once it is done, then I started using this for each. For each I started using. Okay, when I started using this particular for each, see what happens here. For each GRP pure wave, what I need to do here, I'm supposed to use only CUST. I'm not supposed to use CNT, right? GRP pure wave is only related to the customer. CUST, right? Come run.
Yeah. Yes.
Similarly, when I use CNT PROF, when I use GRP PROF CNT, I cannot use customer over there. The reason being, GRP PROF CNT has been derived out of this CNT variable only, right? CNT relationship only. Come run.
Right. Yes. Right.
So that is the reason here when I start using this particular CNT, it started, you know, throwing the errors on this one basically. So, this best, not this one. GRP CNT. Like this, when I specify, it says that to be used as scalar variable. The reason is that, you know, this is not related to your GRP PROF. It is related only to your GRP PROF CNT, right? CNT PROF is nothing but related to this GRP PROF CNT. That is the reason, since those two are out of sync, we will not be able to continue much on this particular piece basically. So now, when you use something like a dump CNT PROF, this is the place where you are going to get all this data. Out of those 20 records, we are going to get the data basically. Now you are seeing here, pilots are 2. So totally there are 20 only, right, Divya, in CNT?
Yes, Ravi. Previously, we limited it to 20.
Yeah. So this is how we are trying to analyze the things basically. We started using for each, we started using group, we started using dump, we started using load, we started using a describe. Suppose if I want to specify something called as describe CNT. What is that CNT? CNT is also a relationship, right?
Like in the local mod, like if I do like any other scripting language, for example, K-shell, I can do this thing in the K-shell as well. Same activity for any file.
Same activity for any file, you can do it in the K-shell also as well. Yeah, why not? We can do that one.
Like we can get the benefit only in the when we have a virtual environment, correct?
Map reduce and run. Map reduce and run.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's same as the shell programming.
That's what I have told you. Remember when we were doing the word count example in the case of Eclipse. This is something that can be executed in manual mode, local debugging mode, as well as you can also have the option of executing within HDFS also as well. The reason being, in terms of course, there might be a delay in initial processing, but in terms of storage, in terms of this replication, it is going to exploit multiple servers basically. As long as you are having a virtual node with a single data node and single name node, it doesn't show that much difference. Kamran. Okay.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So that's it for today, and we start continuing and then start focusing on those particular things, Divya. Any questions?
No, that's clear. Thanks.
Ravi,
can you...
Yeah, tell me.
No, please go ahead. Please go ahead, Kamal.
Yeah, I'm saying like you told that like you will be sending some PDF for the material wise.
Tomorrow. I don't send. Tomorrow is April 1st. Even if I tell something also, it will be April Fool's Day.
Maybe like tomorrow I'm not able to attend the class, so I can follow the recording.
Sure.
So,
yeah. Tomorrow we'll be continuing with Pig. Pig will be going for another a couple of more classes. The moment Pug is done, we need to go with Hive and then followed by HBase and then the other things. Okay.
Okay.
Ravi, one last question. How do we install Pig?
I'll tell you here. It is something like you need to connect to the apache.hadoop.com and then you need to install, you need to dump all those particular files and then you need to start those tar files, TR files that you need to install. I'll tell you the steps, Shashank.
Sure. I mean, in a real-time scenario, do we need to install it?
Yes.
Okay.
When you want to go into Hadoop career, I expect everybody to be multi-skilled. Okay, so that it should not be the case that I don't know this one or else I'm not aware of this one. These things should not be there. You need to be prepared in every manner. When I say every manner, not in each and all the 360 degrees overview, but whatever is expected out of your expertise and all, yes, I hope you should be in a position to do those things basically. Okay?
Sure. Thanks, Ravi.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Murli.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Divya.